Hello, happy Wednesday. Welcome to Stamping A to Z. I'm Linda Gibbs. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator here in Canada. Thanks for joining me today. I do a weekly episode of Stamping A to Z on Wednesdays at noon. This is episode 109. Today I'm going to be showing you what you can pack if you're traveling, if you want to be able to make some cards while you're away, just have something, or even if you are waiting at the ice rink for a kid's practice or whatever. There's always times where you just kind of want something to do on the side. So I found some suggestions of things you can bring, and if you're packing light, what you can do to make it as small as possible. I find myself having a lot of travel in the next little bit, competitions for my youngest, and just other life things. So yeah, this is going to be handy for me. So it's kind of a little selfish thing to look at, but I thought it would be helpful for others. So I thought I would pop on and give you guys some tips and tricks. I wanted to mention that today Stampin' Up! Just released new products for celebration. So we have our little celebration catalog that you might have already seen. It goes till the end of February, so all this is still available. I don't think any of it is. It's while supplies last. So once it's out, it's out. And then they've added a few more items, stuff that's out of the mini catalog, the annual catalog. So yeah, so if there's things that you have on your list that are on here, you might want to take advantage while they are available for free. When you spend either $60 or $120, you can choose those items. So I'm just trying to think. I don't think other than celebration. Oh, and also there's the promotion right now during celebration. It's always the best time to join or purchase the starter kit. So there's 3 options for the starter kit. You can pay, hang on, I gotta cheat again. They've changed it all up. It's not the usual. So the usual, normally the starter kit, you pay $135 and you can choose $165 worth of product. For celebration, the deal is you pay $135, you can get $225 worth of product. If you live in Alberta, there's no tax or shipping. So it's just the $135 and you get $225 of whatever out of the catalogs you want. So if you're not in Alberta, there will be whatever extra tax there is in your province. But other than that, there's no shipping cost to that. So the other 2 options right now, they're offering the Stamp and Emboss machine mini. So you can get the white one, or just 1 month left. There's this special edition boho blue, really cute mini machine. If it matches your stuff or you love blue, get your hands on it. The only way you can get your hands on it is if you're a demonstrator or if you are joining. So your first option, well, they're both basically the same. Whether it's blue or white, it's the same cost to you. So you would pay $175 instead of the $135. Now, normally the machine is $86, so you're already saving on the machine, and you still get to choose $225 worth of product. So for the $135, so basically you're paying $40 instead of $86 for the machine. So really good deal. If any of those are on your list, or if you have a large wish list of things that you would like to get, this is a really good way of getting items on your list. Okay, let's turn you around and let's get started here. If I can pull this down, and it'll make you all dizzy. Okay, there we go. If you are watching, please say hello. Let me know you're watching. My comments weren't working last week, So I didn't see any, and I don't know why. A lot of times it'll tell me that someone has commented, and then I go in and it won't let me read the comments. So I'm not sure what's going on with my Facebook right now. But it's not good. And now it's not letting me find, oh, here we go. Okay. First we gotta turn on Facebook so we can see if there's any, sorry, it's rocking a lot. Okay, so first of all, for a kit for traveling, we currently have a set of stamping spots. We have the uninked ones, but we have a set of inked ones. I don't know if you saw. So we have the uninked ones and we have the inked ones. They come in a fabulous array of colors. They come in basic gray, coastal cabana, daffodil delight, flirty flamingo, gorgeous grape, granny apple green, real red, and shaded spruce. So a really good combo of colors. And they are $33. So a lot cheaper than buying the large pads, and also a lot easier to travel with. So here's my little part of my kit. So here are the stamping spots. I usually, let's see if I have one that's not cut open. So for me, when I open my stamping spots, I take my scissors. You can rip this little tab. I don't know if you can see. There's a perforated line, but I like to take my scissors on the bottom and I try and get in that line there, and I go across with my scissors, and then I can simply pull it open. I usually leave the lid attached because that way it has the color. But if you don't like it attached, and or you want to know what color it is, I have simply punched cardstock and put it at the bottom here. You could put a dot, you could put whatever punch you have. These, this is an old punch from Stampin' Up. It was it must have been a special one because it has a Shelley signature. And it just happens to fit perfectly. So you just kind of squish it in there. And the reason I did this is because, like our stamp pads, they are designed so that they sit upside down so the ink can come to the surface of the pad. So if you want to have the same idea with your stamping spots, you need to turn them upside down so that the ink is always at the top of the pad. But if they're upside down and it's a white bottom, you won't know what color is what. So it's nice to know what colors by adding what is in what color. So now, if you don't have colored cardstock and you're like, Linda, I don't have colored cardstock, or I don't have all the colored cardstock, another easy way to deal with that is to simply, you can take a piece of paper and you can take your stamping spot, push down, pick it up, and then you have the color of ink. You could smush it if you were going to cut it with a different, whatever, to get however much concentration you want. And then you could put it in there as your color swatch. So that is another alternative if you do not have cardstock. So this is a great, it's a really great combination of colors. Stampin' Up's artists put them together. So, you know, you can, here, let me move this. It's a little busy. Move that aside. Okay, so you can, you know, you could have these colors, you could have these colors, or these colors, or, you know, like pretty much sky's the limits here. We could have some greens, we could have like super Christmas, and then the gray is a nice neutral. It's a darker gray, so it's kind of almost like having a black. It's a great combo. You've pretty much got everything you need, and that's all you would have to bring. So it basically, this is almost the size. It's actually less than a stamp pad, so a little bit thicker. These cases are not, available anymore, unfortunately. but you could put them in any kind of case that you wanted. I suggest also that you bring adhesives. Obviously you wouldn't want to bring an empty sheet of adhesives, but this is what I have right now. So I would bring the larger and the minis. It's up to you. If you only have the large, you can always cut them down to size. So I would bring the largers over the minis if you're only bringing one. Always bring a pair of snips, and our snips are great because they come with a cover. So you're not gonna, you know, if it's just in a pencil case or something, it's not gonna go through and poke. Just be aware that you can't bring these on carry-ons on the plane if you're going on a plane. Winkostella is always a nice way to add some bling to your projects, and it's easy to bring. Again, in a pencil case, I usually bring a journaling pen. I don't know if we have these anymore. The Take-A-Pic tool is a must, and your bone folder. Again, some Stampin' Steel. Blender pen. Must bring, because this is like having 8 colors of markers with you on top of the ink. So if you had, so you want to bring either your Stamparatus or a few blocks. And if you bring blocks, all you have to do, is this one open? Yes. You can stamp your, I don't know if you can see that, block. And then you just pick up the ink. Oops, this has white on the, whoopsie. This was one of my white, I have ones that I use for, that's why I should have noticed. The other side was sparkly and this side was white. Anyways, this isn't my plain one. But it's like having markers built in by just bringing one extra pen. So definitely a must-have. Again, you can find it in the annual catalog. They are, I believe it's this one, yeah, blender pens. So you get 3, I think, yeah, 3 dual-tipped pens for $16.50. If you don't already have those, I highly recommend. And then you don't have to bring a whole bunch of markers. Okay, so that's what's in here. Then I would suggest bringing a pack of note cards and envelopes. They are smaller than our standard size cards from our cardstock, but they're a good size. So they are 5 inches by 3.5. So these are the envelopes. There's 20 of them in a pack. They're pre-scored, so they're easy to fold perfectly. Again, if you have a bone folder, it makes it super easy. So there's 20 of these. And then you don't want to just stamp on just plain flat cardstock. You can, but you probably don't want to do 20 like that. So I would then suggest to bring, if you have the clear envelopes or just a baggie of some white scrap. I would also cut some pieces of basic white. These are a 1/4 inch less than the card. So what did I say? I said it was 3.5 by 5. So it would be 4 3/4 by 3 1/4 inches. And then it leaves that nice border around the edge. So I would bring a bunch of those as what you would stamp on and start with. And that way too, if you make a mistake, you can flip it over, you can use a different one, and you're not wrecking a full card out of that. What else? You could, if you have room, and you want to, a cutter is always handy, but unless you've got room in your luggage for it, I've taken it on the plane several times now in my backpack. I think I took off the blade piece and I put that in my suitcase, but I had this in my backpack and it went through security, no problem. They did flag my bag, but not for this. So I don't know. And the Take-A-Pic tool too went through with that pokey thing, but the pokey end was on the inside. So you just want to be careful, be aware that it could get flagged, and just maybe put it in your suitcase if you don't need it, like if it's not a super long plane ride. But I like to have it on the plane because then you can do stuff if you are taking a plane. If you're just driving around, no problem. Okay, so we've got the cards and envelopes, and then we have the Take a Pic tool and bone folder all in our annual catalog. Then what are we going to do? What stamps are we going to use? What can we do with this? So what I did, I had seen, so this is one of the stamp sets in our celebration catalog. It is carrots, of all things. But I've seen other people use it in really fun ways, and I should have done one with trees. I didn't even think to do that. So people have used the carrots this way as trees. You can use this piece as grass, and then you can use it for carrots and whatever else. So it's very versatile. I really like the sentiments. There's kind of everything. So I'm going to use this. And then the other thing that you might want, again, depending on the space that you have and weight and whatever, is a punch of some sort as a label. So the double oval is in the annual catalog. It is a great one because you could stack it. You could punch a bunch of the background oval in, like if you're using the Stampin' Spots that come with those colors, I would maybe punch a couple of each of those colors if you have that cardstock. If not, then do whatever you want to do. You could layer whites, whatever. Or you could choose a different label. Another good option is the postage. No, this isn't the postage one. I can't remember what this one's called. Rectangular something. It's in the annual catalog as well. There's the tag, which is, by the way, a celebration item. So this little essential tag punch you can get for free right now with the purchase of $60. So some of these things are really good deals because, you know, a punch is what, $25, and you can get it for free by purchasing $60 worth of stuff. So that would be another good option for your sentiments as a little kind of added bling. So anyways, let me get started. I will show you my 3 cards like I normally do, and you'll see kind of different ways. The Stampin', I wanted to show you how versatile the stamping spots are because a lot of people have them and don't use them. You get them if you're a Paper Pumpkin subscriber. You get a different one every month. They basically guarantee different colors for 12 months. So it doesn't matter when you start, those next 12 months should have all different colors for you. So you'll have a nice variety of colors. So for our first one, let me just set this aside here. We have our carrots and we have our leaves to make a bunch of carrots. Now, you're probably thinking to yourself, there's no orange. No, there isn't. I find the Flirty Flamingo, yes, it's pink, but once it's stamped, you can imagine it as orange. You could stamp the purple. There are purple carrots out there. You could do yellow for like kind of the parsnipy kind of stuff. So it just depends how picky you are. You could get creative with your colors, or if you have an orange and you really wanted orange, then use the orange. I highly suggest that you stamp this detailed part first. It makes it easier to know where to stamp the carrot. So you're going to go full strength of carrot with this. And I'm just going to do 3 of these. So with these, you can kind of, they are the fabric pads. So they are, they can leave more of a imprint than there's the big ones that are more spongy. So as long as you're not, and if you drag it, it'll leave lines for sure. So you don't want to drag it. I find tapping it, sometimes if it's a more solid stamp, you might want to kind of twist it to get more color. They are re-inkable, just like our stamp pads. So if you have the re-inkers, you can always re-ink them. You can purchase the re-inkers for just the colors of the spots that you have. So you can really get away with Stampin' Spots as your only ink. So as you noticed, I stamped off. Oh dear, I must have had color on here. I must not have washed it well. Well, now I've got multicolor carrot. Oh, that's the other thing you want to make sure you bring is something to wash your stamps with. I really like the chamois, and we do have these smaller cases are available. They come in a pack of 4, so you can it keeps it nice and moist if you keep it closed, but you don't want to, if you're not using it for a while, you don't want to keep it closed because it can grow mold if it has stuff in it. And that one's a, oh, and I forgot to stamp that one off. Talking, multitasking these days. Sheesh. Apparently I can't talk and stamp. That's a new, that might be a problem for doing lives if that's the case. Here we go. Okay. So it almost looks like we have 3 different colors of carrots. Look at that. It's like I meant to do that. All right. I run a monthly club, and I always do my cards first as I'm showing it, and I always make a mistake. Not always, but a lot of times I make a mistake, and I always say, let me do it first, because you know I'm going to show you what not to do. And then they can make theirs perfect. Although usually it's always fixable. Nobody knows what you have in your head as what the card is supposed to look like. So nobody will ever know that it's a mistake. Now, as you can notice, I'm not stamping all the way down on the stem because the stem is super long. I don't know why you would have a stem that long, but they made it that way. So I found I didn't really want to do a whole bunch of these like they normally are. They do have a leaf in here, so I just thought it made the bunch look a little more bunchy. So again, stamp off. It just adds a little bit more greenery. There we go. So then we've got our bunch of carrots. One of the sayings is a bunch, so you could put love you a bunch, you could put thanks a bunch. So I was going to do a thank you, and I will take a piece of scrap here, and we have the thanks and a bunch, and then we'll use the basic gray. Photopolymer is always nice because you can see where you're stamping and how inked up a stamp is as well, which is always nice. That was a little close, but that's okay. It works. All right, so we have our thanks a bunch. I'm going to, I might need to use my trick that I don't know if you guys have seen this one. If I grab, don't have any big ones handy, but I'll use a little one should work. If you have a Post-it note, if your paper is too small and you're having troubles being able to hold it and put it where you want it, you can just use your Post-it note, stamp it, oops, then you've got your paper out, and then you've got your label, and then sometimes you have to peel off whatever piece of Post-it note gets left behind on your piece that you're using. Everything's sticking to me today. Okay, and then I had, oh, where did it go? I had some paper, oh, here we go. So I didn't pre-cut my ovals. If I want a background, I'll pretend I had a bunch of these pre-cut. Then I can put this one on the back here. Pop that up. And then we put it onto the card and we end up with a cute little card. And I just popped, I adhered this piece down straight, no dimensionals onto the card. And then I just popped these up with the dimensionals. And then it's a cute little card. So that's the easy card. This is the one I just wanted to show you how basically inking the stamps goes. Another great thing with these Stampin' Spots is you can color with them, kind of like a blend. It's not as smooth as a blend, obviously, but you can basically color the background. So here I'm going to take my green and I'm going to come across here like so. And then I'm going to take the blue Coastal Cabana, like the sky, and just kind of, so you could do lines, you could go swirly. Just depends how much color and kind of what design you're looking for. So here we've got a little bit of both. Here I'm going to use, first I'm going to wash my carrot, make sure there's no pink left. Okay, and then I'm going to take my green and I'm going to make some, oh, I'm shaking up the camera, sorry. Hope I'm not making anyone too seasick. Okay, oh, it still looks like it has pink on it. Must be, oh, it's good. It's just deceiving how it looks, I guess. So you can see it makes some nice grass in there. It really looks like grass. I don't know about you, but I think it looks like grass. Okay, I'm not seeing comments again, so hopefully you guys are just being quiet. If you are watching, maybe just say hi so I know if it's working or not. If nothing comes up, well, it's not working and I'm gonna have to do some digging. Okay, so I've got the background. Now, this is obviously kind of a landscape kind of background. Some other options you can do with your Stampin' Spots, you could create kind of a checkerboard effect, depending on what you were putting on top. You can create kind of a plaid with the same kind of dragging. It almost has a linen effect, so you could do this like that is in multicolor. You could do it all with one color if you just wanted to look like linen. Oh, there, I've got one comment. Hello. Okay, good to know it's working. Yeah, so there's lots of ways you can use the Stampin' Spots for coloring your backgrounds. So with this one, and along with the carrots, I just happen to have this Easter Bunny stamp set, which, you know, I kind of, these bunny, carrots, they all kind of go hand in hand. There is a, sorry, I'm looking for it because I don't know where it is. There's a stamp to punch out the bunny, which is kind of perfect. So what I did, if you just have a stamp, if you just have the punch, you could just punch out the rabbit and just have the outline of the rabbit, and then when you put it onto the card, you just have kind of a simple background of the rabbit. What I chose to do was to stamp, oh, where's my rabbit? I took the basic gray. Actually, I don't even, that's not the part I need to show you, but I will do it anyways. So you want to ink up your rabbit here. If you have it with you, you know, that would mean bringing a second stamp set with you. So again, depends on how much room and kind of what you're working on. But bundles with punches are great because they're easy to bring. Why does this look so crooked? Yeah, we'll go with it. So you just kind of use that as your template, where to put your bunny. And then you've got your background bunny. Then, like I showed you with the blender pen here, you can take a block, and I'm going to put some Flirty Flamingo, and then I'm just going to add a little bit of color to my bunny. So maybe like a little bit of a pink nose and some pink on his cheek, and then his, her, whatever, and a pink ear. And then you would just color it off until there's no more color, and then you can use a different color. So that's why I said you have as many colors as you want. All you have to do is scrub until it's gone. So now you've got a cute little bunny as your background. And then the other thing I wanted to show you that these come in really handy is, so we'll take another piece of scrap here, and we'll take this, it looks like spring, and we need this one and this one. So because they're so little, it makes it easy to see where you are adding color. So you can kind of go in and just put color on the words that you want. And then if you want to switch colors, so again, you don't need the mark. Actually, you know what? I'm going to try. I don't know if it works the same way as using markers to color with the blender pen, if you prefer coloring each letter, and then you have to huff on it to make sure it's moist, and then you come down and put it on there. Now I'm just curious, and maybe you are too. Let me find a non-sparkly, non-white blender pen here. Let's see if it works the same way. So let me just wipe off this pink here. Make sure your block is clean before you add a new color. So we'll add some purple, and we'll add some blue. Make sure your tip is clean. And then let's see how well this looks like it does. Looks like it adds it pretty good. So if you like to have even more control, You can use the blender pen also. But like I said, because the stamping spots are small enough, and if you kind of tip it and look where it is, you can really see what you're doing. So see, it picks up a lot of color. And you want to make sure, like if I'm going to go to the blue, I want to make sure my purple is all gone. And then I'm going to pick up the blue. So it takes a little bit longer too, so you have to make sure you moisten it for sure. And you do have to pick up a lot more color, as you could see as I'm scraping it off. And then, oh, I must not have huffed on it well enough. It looks a little dry on the purple side, but it does work, as you can see with the blue, as long as you do your huffing. So either way works for that. That is another way to use it. And then again, these ones, so you just want to make sure whatever stamp set you're bringing, if it has the sentiments that you want to use, make sure that it fits in whatever punch that you're bringing as your label, because you don't want to then realize, but I thought even with this one, even if you have a bigger thing of words, you most likely would be able to cut it out with the oval, and then you just wouldn't have a background. You wouldn't have two ovals, you would just have one. But that way it makes it more versatile too, because you have two options of colors. So then all you want to do is add some dimensionals to this. And I'm just putting little ones around my rabbit so that it has that shadow. Okay, and then so we have our little bunny here, and then we would adhere this together. And I think because I like that this is popped up, that I don't need to pop up the sentiment here. There. So that's not bad. With the few things that you have, you can make a fairly intricate card. All right, next is you can, so I have pre-embossed this. I used so if you wanted to, you could emboss, do some background embossing before you leave if you have time, because obviously you're not going to bring, well, I mean, I guess if you have room and you want to bring maybe the mini stamp and cut and emboss machine. But this way you can just do it ahead of time. I'm just trying to find the, oh, here it is. So this is the Cane Weave 3D embossing folder. It can be found in the mini catalog on page 31. It's part of this Regency Park suite. So if you have it, you've got the, but you can use any embossing folder, obviously. This is a 3D one, so it does, the grooves are a little bit deeper than a standard one. Stamping spots are absolutely fabulous for coloring embossed paper. Because they're small, they don't get in and end up coloring the background. They stay right on the top. So what I mean, you basically just do the same as before, and you can really make it pop. And then I found it wasn't quite popping enough, so I decided to add a second color. So kind of wherever the purple isn't, and the purple kind of changes color too, but that's okay. It just adds a little bit more dimension and interest. So you can see it really just stays right on the surface. Ugh. And where you run the ink pad over top, or if you're using a blender brush or a sponge, it's much harder to keep it on top. So these Stampin' Spots are perfect for this technique. So if you've got your pre-embossed sheets, you could do that while you're on traveling. And then we're going to go back to our carrot here, and I'm going to do a purple carrot, since purple carrots are real, and we've already done our pinky orange carrots. We'll go with the purple. See, it would help if I inked it with the actual ink and not the lid. I really am having troubles today. Okay, so we will make that one. Make sure this one's clean. At least you're going, if you're going with a darker color, it's not as bad as if you're a light color. Okay, so we've got our purple carrot, and then we will have, so basically with the Stampin' Spots, you're always inking onto your stamp versus the other way. With the big ink pads, a lot of the times you're just putting it onto the stamp pad, so that's kind of the big difference. I've got too much here. You could cut it with scissors if you have a very straight hand. This is where the trimmer comes into play. What do we have here? 1 1/4. Okay. But you could just cut it, or you could leave it big, however you want. Oh, and I need to trim the, so here we'll braid the scissors. There we go. And then we need a sentiment. So for this one, again, just a piece of scrap. The sentiments in this set are great for this. They fit kind of on scrap pieces, so it's perfect. If you're not sure what you're doing, I would suggest just cutting like the 8.5 by 11 into 4 pieces and bring it that way, and then you can kind of decide as you go how much you need of each piece. If you have a trimmer, it's easier, obviously. And then you can just cut it at an angle like that, and you have your sentiment, and then you have your card. So that, I mean, you would never know that these were made with just a few things handy. So you could totally make 20 very interesting cards just using those Stampin' Spots and a couple of stamp sets. And so if you remember, I think I put it, so the ink was $33. The note cards are $9.75. So that would be $43. And then if you needed any other pieces and parts, or if you wanted to buy some basic white, you would pretty much be at the $60 mark. And then you could get this one for free. But if you wanted to get the rabbit bundle, that one is $40-ish, I think. $46.75. So if you've already got stamping spots, you could get this bundle, or you could add the other punch if you needed a punch, and you'd be at the 60, and then you could get the carrot or whatever. There's a bunch of stamp sets in there. I just find it has a lot of possible sentiments. So yeah, hopefully this was helpful to you. I will try and post one where these are used as trees so you can get an idea of that, because that even opens up the door for even more, not just grass, not just carrots, but then if you've got trees too, you've got a whole plethora of possibilities you can do. So I will let you guys go for this week. Next week, there will not be a live. I will be away. I will be back, I believe, the next Wednesday. So have a great rest. Have a great 2 weeks instead of 1 week. Hopefully it warms up like it's supposed to, and you all have a good beginning of February. All right, don't forget to take advantage of the new items available. The code for this month is here. Also, if you would like to purchase the starter kit and join my team, you can always send me a message if you have any questions and let me know. It's pretty simple. You go on my site, and there's a join button, and it walks you through everything. But if you have any questions, please let me know. All right. Thanks for watching. Take care, everyone. Bye.